Matt Makins here with Weather 5280. We have another snowmaker on the way for the state. We'll break down the totals in just a moment. Let's take a look at the timeline though. We have chances pretty much now all the way through Thursday, a break, and then more chances on Friday. But as far as snowfall intensity, kind of what are we thinking here? Denver's timeline and Colorado Springs' timeline, kind of light to heavier key is shown there. We kind of stay in the light snowfall, maybe some moderate snowfall intensities over the coming hours. And that is going to translate into some lower accumulations. Still some slick spots, don't get me wrong. But let's see where the radar is showing the activity already this morning. Starting to develop the snowfall over the eastern plains, a little bit of rain mixing in too, but that activity is trying to move into the metro area. So again, timeline here just shows relative intensities a bit on the lower end. That's not to say, as I mentioned, there won't be some slick areas. So let's break down the travel impacts and then we'll take a look at snowfall totals. Let's take a look at the travel impacts, and as we come down into your southwestern Colorado, the San Juans, so a lot of snowfall here, and this is where the highest impact region will be. So between Pagosa Springs and South Fork, Silverton, southward toward Durango, the mountain ranges here, including Wolf Creek Pass, will have the most treacherous of travel conditions, if you will, across Colorado. Take a look at I-70 and northward, and we will have some pockets here with winter driving conditions, the same between Denver and Colorado Springs, or Denver to Conifer, on up toward Jefferson and Fairplay. Those stretches there may have some slick areas. Overall, though, on the relative scale, lower. And then as you get over the eastern plains, we're looking at by Kit Carson, Cheyenne Wells, Burlington, the state line with Kansas. We'll have some higher impact here to drivers late today into early Thursday morning. So now as we look at some of the snowfall totals on the way, obviously with the impact being highest down here in the San Juans, this stretch here of the pinks and purples, that's starting to approach 2 to 3 feet of total snowfall. That's happening between the South Fork area and Pagosa Springs and the mountain range there. So a lot of snowfall in the San Juans. As you look at around Aspen to Marble or so, we're going to be looking at a decent amount of snowfall here as well, although by comparison, not nearly the same amount as what's falling down in the San Juans. But to get into the red colorations, you started to put 12 to 16 inches on those mountains. Let's head up even farther north around Steamboat Springs in town itself, kind of a lower end potential this time, still several inches, don't get me wrong, but compared to the season they've had so far, lower end. Some of the park range here is going to approach a foot, maybe a foot and a half of snowfall. Broaden that view a touch. We do see those pockets of deeper snows in the high country, but as you start to come into the metro area, Denver, lower end, Boulder the same, on up toward Fort Collins and Greeley, this area by and large is looking at, if you accumulate anything, it'd be like a trace to 2, somewhere within that range as shown in the snowfall map within Weather 5280. And then you get on over the Palmer Divide, and there's going to be some pockets here, some deeper totals. Not that it's going to be overwhelmingly deeper, but we start to hit some 4s, 5s, 6s potentially in some isolated pockets here on the Palmer Divide. Surrounding Colorado Springs, surrounding Larkspur, surrounding Castle Rock and Kiowa. You head out over the eastern plains and along I-70, you head toward Burlington or a highway between, Hugo, Kit Carson to Cheyenne Wells. Anybody leading toward the state line with Kansas, you start to see those snowfall totals begin to climb up again. So 4s, 5s, 6s, somewhere in that range will be possible over the eastern plains. From all of us at Weather 5280, thank you for watching the video. Thank you for enjoying the blog. We'll post the latest as we go forward in time, and you can hit the subscribe button right up there if you'd like an email whenever a new forecast has been issued. And we promise not to spam you. We're not going to bombard you, just with information that you may need to know.